few weeks ago, I bought this beautiful Bisher C Melody saxophone, and I'm really fallen in love with it. It's great to be in the same key as the rest of the band. But when I got it, it came in this tenor sax case. It's a nice case, but it's way too big for the horn. I looked around online, but C Melody cases are not easy to find, and they're kind of expensive, so I decided to build my own. First, I got a sheet of 1/4-inch plywood, laid my horn on it, and traced around it to figure out how big to make the box. Then I started cutting out the wood for the sides. Be sure to use a push stick while you're cutting, because you need all your fingers to play the saxophone. I used 3/4-inch pine, and I made the sides about 7 inches wide. This part was a little tricky, building the box for accessories. I just used this part of my table saw to figure out what the angle needed to be here. And then I set the blade of my table saw to the same angle. Then I started putting the box together. I used glue and screws. I thought about using staples, but either one is fine. I knew I was going to paint this or cover it in some way, so I wasn't too worried about it. Screwing this part together was a little harder, but I just pre-drilled the holes and was pretty careful. Then I put the top on. Notice that this is just a solid box that doesn't open. The easiest way to build these, I learned from watching YouTube videos about guitar cases, is just build it first and then cut it in half on the table saw after it's all put together. Here's the bottom after I cut it. I just painted the outside of the box and a little bit of the inside.
2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Looking more like a saxophone case. I have the case all painted, latches, hinges, handle, corners. All of which I probably bought on Amazon. And looks a lot like a saxophone case. The only thing it needs now is some padding. So I have kind of a crazy idea. I'm going to use this expanding foam packaging. It's designed for shipping, but it's going to expand and create like a little pillow. Alright, this should be exciting. So, the way it works is you have to press on this packet here, break it, and then push back and forth like 20 times on these. And then it will start to expand. Ready? Oh, it worked. another pop. It's probably, ooh, it's starting to get warm. And then it's gonna pop, come on. Ah. There it goes. Whew. Ooh. It's weird. It's warm. Alright. Spread that stuff around. Kind of like the expanding foam you use for insulation. So I want to make sure that it doesn't get too tight around my horn. So I'm just going to wrap this in a towel. Ooh, there it goes. Well, it didn't expand as much as I've seen it do on YouTube, but let's try it again. Oh, there we go. Alright, I'm going to do this one a little faster. And then I'm going to try to stop touching it. Let's watch. That worked a lot better. Makes a pretty nice little cradle. Ooh, yeah, this one worked great. Filled it all the way up. Make sure I can get that out. Oh yeah, that's nice. So I think what I learned is that you shouldn't touch it too much while it's expanding. I touched this one and it didn't fill up as much as I wanted it to, so I'm going to redo it. I might use this in my other case though. So here we go again. Sure, spread it out good. Get it everywhere. Here we go. This time I'm going to just leave that alone. Guess I didn't need the towel at all. It's a pretty nice looking little cradle. Now when I cover that, it should be perfect. Look at that fit. Voila. So, I'm really happy with how this expanding foam worked. That's going to be great. The only thing I need to do now, or the next thing rather, is put some upholstery in here. I'm a cheapskate, so I went to this junk store that had a whole bunch of fabric. They had drapery fabric and upholstery fabric, and I got a bunch of different ones for $2 a yard. They gave me much more than a yard, but I like this one. It's kind of velvet or velour, so this is what I'm going to use. And I'm going to attach it with this spray adhesive from Gorilla, who did not sponsor this video. Looking pretty good. Not like a brand new factory case, but it's perfect for this. I haven't put this on yet, this little cover. So I'm going to do that now. Let's see. Well, you guys can learn from me. I should have put this on the bottom because when I open it, it will hit the side of the case. And if I use thicker wood, that would have happened too, so this kind of has to be level with the top of the case. I already upholstered that and I don't want to add to that, but I'm just going to add a shim on the underside of this before I put the upholstery on. I think it'll look okay. Got this thing shimmed, closes okay. I still think maybe I should have put 2 hinges on it, but that'll work. And I cut out my upholstery, so let's see how this is going to go. What can I say? I'm a saxophone player, not an upholsterer. Alright, now I'm just finishing the top of this. I thought for a while about what to do. I knew I wanted some padding up here. I was going to use foam or styrofoam or something light. Finally I went to the thrift store and I bought a pillow, and inside it was this weird batting stuff. Can you imagine sleeping on that? But it was real lightweight, soft. So I attached it by just gluing the upholstery all the way around, clamping it to make sure it wouldn't start peeling off, and then that just holds all the foam in place. I didn't even glue it or anything else. I think that should stay. It's gonna make a really nice soft top. Well, finally done. After lots of hours of labor and maybe $30 in materials, I have a cool case. It kind of looked like a steamer trunk. I decided to put some like travel stickers on it. I also put some different corners on, rounded corners that are better. And it was a fair amount of work and not super cheap, but finally I have a case that's worthy of this cool old saxophone.